Good afternoon, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Tullahoma Planning Commission. I'm Chairman Paul Schwer, and now call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum with one absent. Mr. Alex Rice is absent today, but given we have 6 members, we have a quorum. And at this time, I'd like everyone to I'm going to ask Mr. Alex Hall to join us in the pledge, or lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hall. Next order is read and approve the minutes from the January 21st meeting. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Mayor Seaborn.
Second.
Second from Mr. Sellers. Any discussion on this? All right, I'll call the vote. All in favor of approval of minutes as written? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And abstained? All right, the minutes pass 6-0. All right, general public comments for items not on the agenda. At this time, if anyone from the public would like to come forward and speak on anything not on tonight's agenda, but on the purview of the Planning Commission, please come forward at this time. You'll be allotted 3 minutes. Seeing none, I will close general public comments and move to reports from the commissioners and staff. Mr. Luthi.
Staff has no reports at this time.
All right, thank you, Mr. Luthi. Welcome back. There is no old business. Moving on to new business, subdivision plats. These are public hearings. Darrell Welch, minor subdivision, final plat. Proposed final plat to create a new lot record at 0 Old Shelbyville Highway, Coffee County tax map and parcel number. Map number 25, whatever. I'd like to invite the applicant to speak on this at this time. Mr. Welsh, you're recognized.
My name's Darrell Welch. I'm Park and Realty Company. This parish is cutting off a tract, 2.88 acre tract, off of a larger piece on the Old Shelbyville Highway. We have a buyer. It is a one buyer, and he's planning on building a nice home there, and that's basically it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Welsh. All right, it's a public.
Sit down and
No, you're fine, I think. Take it. We'll see how many times we can get you up. All right, this is a public hearing, so I'd like to invite anyone from the public to speak on this at this time. All right, seeing none, I will close the public hearing, move to staff report. Mr. Luthi.
Yeah. So Mr. Welch pretty much covered it. This is a 2.88 acre tract. One of the unique features of this tract, and why you'll see it again on your Board of Zoning Appeals agenda, is that this tract, as it is currently defined by the subdivision plat that you have before you, contains both R1 and I1 zoning districts. That dividing line between those is not tied to any real feature, line, property line, water feature, ridge, or other topographical features. It's kind of floating. So what we're going to do is, once this newly created plat is created by your approval tonight, and the Board of Zoning Appeals, I'd be asking you guys to authorize adjusting that boundary between the R1 and I1 zoning districts to align with that newly created property line, so that separating line is defined by a real and legal piece of feature.
So
it's not just floating.
I assume it's on the backside of the property against the airport. Is that the industrial part?
It actually runs down the length of the property. It's about 35 feet from the northwestern property boundary is that I-1. So we'll be adjusting it 35 feet northwest to align it to that newly created property line. This site has gone through review with the DAC. Public Works did have a comment that this one will need TDOT approval on that driveway curb cut, because that is a TDOT road. And then Scott St. John had a comment that a base flood elevation note will need to be added because this one does contain floodplain. So they need to demarcate that base flood elevation if one is present. Then staff recommends approval of the final plat with the condition that all DAC member comments are addressed before the final plat is brought before the Director of Planning and Development for signing and recordation at Coffee County.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Luthi. Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve with staff comments.
Second.
Motion from Mr. Hall, second from Mr. Comer. All right, discussion. All right, no discussion. With that, I'll call the vote. All
Just
in,
one comment. Normally we see the zoning, don't we on these? Or is that only when we're doing the zoning regulations? I mean, used to they would show the zonings around it, because I didn't see the,
Yes, there is a zone drawing on this one, but since we're about to adjust
Yeah.
it, that zoning diagram is included for you in the
In the next one?
agenda item for the
Okay,
Board of
thank
Zoning
you.
Appeals.
all right.
But just because it's about to be moved, I
Mhm.
figured it'd be more appropriate to keep it kind of separate, where one is we're creating the legal lot of record and the
All right,
other is the
thank you.
zoning.
All right, Paul, go ahead.
oh, no worries. Any other discussion? All right, with that, I'll call the vote. All in favor of the approval of the minor subdivision plat, Darrell Welch minor subdivision plat, subject to staff comments? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? All right, motion passes again 6-0, and that was Hall and Comer. All right. Moving on, zoning map amendment, public hearings. There are no zoning map amendments have been submitted for this agenda. And C, annexations. No annexations have been submitted for this agenda. So with that, we are at the end of our agenda tonight, and the Planning Commission meeting is adjourned. And I will call to order the Board of Zoning Appeals regular meeting agenda. Read and approve the minutes from the January 21st, 2025 BOZA meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion approved.
Motion approved from Mr. Sellers.
Second.
Second from Mr. Comer. Discussion on the minutes. With all in favor of approval of the minutes as written? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstained. Minutes are passed 6-0. There is no old business. Moving on to new business. Adjustment of the district dividing line for Darrell Welsh. The applicant is requesting adjustment to the district dividing line between I-1 and R1 zoning districts for property located at 0 Old Shelbyville Highway, a new lot of record based on the previous discussion. Mr. Welsh, if you'd like to come up and talk again, that's fine. If not, I think we can carry it on.
I was gonna say what he said, but he's already said it, so.
Okay, all right. No comment from the no additional comment from the applicant. This is a public hearing. I'd like to invite anyone from the public that wants to come forward at this time to speak on this effort. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and move to the staff report. Mr. Luthi.
Yeah, I would just like to advise the commission that this is not a rezone. We are just redefining district boundaries and assigning them to a significant site feature. That site feature being the newly created lot line of record. But other than that, I mean, the site fully complies with the R1 zoning. Adjusting that I-1 will not impact any existing uses on any of the sites surrounding. However, it would allow this new lot of record to be completely and wholly used for its intended purpose, which is single-family residence.
All right, thank you, Mr. Luthi.
Just a technical question. What is the distinction between adjusting zoning boundaries and rezoning? What's the distinction there?
So adjusting a zoning boundary can only be done when there is a separation between zoning districts that is not defined by a significant site feature or lot line.
Okay.
In this case, where it's floating. And then the Board of Zoning Appeals is able to make a decision on that to allow staff to adjust that line to a significant site feature. But if this was on, say, a property line, or it was along a river or stream or anything like that, it would not be able to be done this way. It would have to be a rezone.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
All right. Is that our approval? Okay. All right, motion to approve from Mayor Seymour, second from Mr. Comer. Discussion on this, additional discussion. All right, seeing none, I'll call the vote. All in favor of the approval of the adjustment of the district dividing lines at 0 Old Cherryville Highway. Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And abstained. Motion passes 6-0. All right, moving on. Approval of 3 seasonal retail firework permits. TNT Fireworks East is seeking approval for 3 seasonal retailer firework permits located at 2111 Jackson Street, 1905 North Jackson Street, and 449 West Lincoln Street. I'd like to invite the applicant to come forward at this time and speak on this. Okay. Seeing the applicant's not here, I'll move to.
Sorry, what address was this?
21111 North Jackson Street, 1905 North Jackson Street, and 449 West Lincoln Street. TNT Fireworks. Okay. No worries. All right. Since the applicant's not here, I'll move to the public hearings. This is a public hearing. I'd like to invite anyone to come forth at this time and speak on this. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing and move the staff report. Mr. Luthi.
Yeah, these permits, these application for a seasonal retailer fireworks permit is with the state. These are not the ones issued by us. However, the applicant is requesting, and it is required that both my signature and I believe the mayor's signature is required on these. But prior to giving those, we need to verify that what they are doing is permitted under our zoning ordinance. And while in the C2 zoning district, a temporary use like this is permitted, it's permitted with review. So the Board of Zoning Appeals will need to review that and permit that activity to take place before I think it would be appropriate for anyone to begin signing any of these permits.
Have we been doing this in the past? Jason, do you know? To the Board of Zoning Appeals, we haven't been doing it this way, have we? Yeah.
I don't recall it.
I'm not saying it shouldn't be, I just noticing that I don't remember ever doing this, so.
Yeah, in our zoning ordinance in the C2 zoning district, temporary uses like this are permitted, but they are permitted with review, not permitted by right.
And then will they have to come also before the city board after the fact?
Yes, once they go to get their actual fireworks vendor's permit or whatever that's called, the one that we issue, they would come back again before you. This is mostly a discussion item. Once you give it the okay and give approval to those, there's not really anything that has to get recorded or signed. It just allows the Board of Zoning Appeals to get a chance to review these applications before they're deemed appropriate.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right. With that, I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
And,
Okay, second.
all right. Second, Mr. Hall. Let's see.
Or I don't know if that's what we're doing, but
Let me see what the motion should be before we get too out ahead of
I
our
second that I
skis.
agree there should be fireworks stands.
Okay. All right.
Well-
Yeah. Motion to approve the seasonal fireworks
Okay.
permits I got a motion from Mr. Sellers and a second from Mr. Hall. Discussion on this. I mean, yeah, I'll echo the mayor's point is that like this is new, but I mean if it is by,
Something we should have been doing.
after review, then yeah, we probably should have been doing it unless there was a different process. But all right, so I guess I mean this is all C2. These are all in the existing like shopping center parking lots.
Yes, sir.
What Walmart and the West Lincoln one, I know the other one. Okay, yeah, so okay, yeah. I mean they've been there for years and we haven't had any complaints. I don't know if there's an issue with that or not. But all right, with that, any other discussion? All right, I'll call the vote. All in favor of approval of the 3 seasonal retail firework permits? Aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion passes 6-0. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Are these gentlemen expecting some business from us?
Yes.